We look so happy in all of our cute little videos and stuff.
I know. You have to sit up because we literally just did this perfectly. So we were even.
Was I slouching? It's my like, sad slouch. I'm so sorry. Here I am. I'm literally wearing a suicide prevention sweatshirt. This is very necessary today. It has 100 reasons to live on the back.
I don't even know if I could come up with that many.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Good. Hi, everybody.
Am I better now? Oh yeah, sorry. Hey.
Nice to see you.
I didn't see you when I was turned around.
Welcome. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome back. I am Spencer, and this is my beautiful co-host, Caitlin. And for everyone's information, this is our last remote show until Caitlin is here.
I'm so excited.
So exciting. Like
I'm going to be there in
exciting.
2 days, and we're going to have a fun little weekend.
And if you're new here, you can just go back to look at our first remote episode and how shitty the quality was because we were figuring our lives out and how much more amazing this is.
We've come
the glow
so far. Did you like my song? That was good. As we go on,
it's the climb.
We remember. Remix.
Oh. Oh, na.
And if you are new here, I'm really sorry. You're probably wondering. You would never guess that this was a sports podcast.
I promise it is.
We talk about the NBA and the
it's
NFL.
A sports,
but we
it's
also
a sports
think
podcast
we're funny.
With a sprinkle of song and dance. Not dancing, just song.
It's like High School Musical if it were like a podcast.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm Gabriella. You're Sharpay.
I'm not mean.
I was going to say, but we like each other and you're nice. That's what I was going to finish with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
you're the blonde. I'm the brunette, you know?
Yeah, I would have a pink locker if I could. Anyway.
Also same.
The NBA. What? I promise we are going to talk ball.
This is our midweek NBA update. We are going to talk about all of the happenings. Maybe not all of them because that's a lot of happenings. We are going to talk about the big ol' happenings like the Denver Nuggets.
They got to win after
two of them.
After 2 losses.
2 of them.
But they got 2 wins against really shitty teams in overtime. But that's neither here nor there.
Yep, don't care.
Don't care.
Wins are wins.
Oh, wait. Listen here. Let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, let's just jump in.
I didn't need to write any notes on the Nuggets because I have everything in here. I just have stats here. Okay. My first thing is a win is a win is a win is a win. Okay.
A win is a win. We'll take them.
A win is a win. I'm going to take it every time. Were they both horrendously horrific? Absolutely. Were we literally consistently down 8 points every time I looked at the score? Absolutely. Did Nikola Jokic come down off of that cross to save me once again? He sure did.
As he does.
And that was my ode to Nikola Jokic, because without Nikola Jokic, honestly, the Nuggets do not deserve Nikola Jokic, but I'm not selfish enough to let him go. And
without Nikola Jokic,
unselfish enough to let him go.
Understood. Without Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets would be nothing.
We would be 0-4, like badly.
Like comfortably 0-4.
Like honestly, I would have called it 0-8 because we would have lost so bad that it was almost like count them both as 2 losses each.
2. Yep. Multiply it.
Count them 2.
Count them 2.
I think my biggest question mark about the Nuggets so far, Caitlin, has been, and I wanted to talk to you about it because a lot of people that aren't necessarily fans of the team, but know us and have talked to us about it and follow the Nuggets enough to know are confused, as well as I, because we have our core 4 and CB. That could have easily been the biggest question mark. Oh, you lost KCP and CB isn't fulfilling what he did. But he's exceeding. He's literally gone beyond. And so I can't figure out why I think the starters aren't getting that huge kind of advantage that they usually have. Like they're able to dig the hole out a little bit, but they're still not playing how they have been.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you agree with me. Like it doesn't look like it did last year when they were playing together.
No, I think like the biggest part of it is, and I mean like, and this is not like to shit on our players or anything like that, because like they're not bad players, but they have all, for the most part, most of the games have been shooting horrendously. And so like Nikola Jokic, we can even talk about day one of the back-to-back on the when we played the Toronto Raptors. When we played the Toronto Raptors, Nikola Jokic had, and you can probably correct me, but it was like 40 points.
10 rebounds, 4 assists.
10 rebounds, 4 assists. Thank you. I was going to say, I think it was 10 rebounds, but 4 assists. And so, and if you watch the game, and if you just know Nikola Jokic, 4 assists is so far beyond his realm. Like, I mean, that is 4 assists. You would think that Nikola Jokic had played 5 minutes in the game. Like,
if
literally,
you see Jokic with no assists, that is you're either assuming that he like had to leave the game, or no one is making their shots. And unfortunately, it was the latter.
Exactly. And so I think that's, I guess, like what I think the issue is. And again, I don't think it's bad. I think that, I've seen some of the best 3-point shooters in the world, Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, go through shooting slumps for a month and a half at a time. I know it happens. Jordan Poole had one of his worst shooting seasons ever last season and has come out and is now making 4+ threes a game. So it's like shooting slumps happen, and I totally recognize that. It's just a matter of getting themselves out of it, because Nikola Jokic had the opportunity to have like 16, 17 assists. Like he was making those passes. The guys were shooting the shots. They were just not making them.
Brick.
Yeah. Literally over and over and over. Like brick house. You could build an entire house, and the freaking wolf would huff and puff and would not be able to blow the house down because we've got 8 layers of bricks. You know?
Yeah. Jamal Murray shot 30%, which is obviously never what you want from your second option. Obviously, he was 6 for 20 from the field. No turnovers, actually, which was surprising. But that's awesome. He finished with 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Yes.
But
which is great. I like to see him all over the place. Like I always say, if your shot is not falling, you need to be helping on other ends of the floor.
Anywhere else.
Literally. Or else you're just becoming more of a hindrance than you are like a help on the floor. And I think that's also the difference. You were talking about KCP and CB, like, we're just kind of switching those two out. So what's the issue? I think that the issue is just that KCP was a volume 3-point shooter, and CB hasn't really fallen into that yet. He's kind of almost taking like a different route than
he's just driving
KCP
to the basket. I think until he gets more comfortable. Like you could definitely tell if you're a Nuggets fan, or if you follow the Nuggets at all. Last year, you were like, why? Like he looked scared about the 3-point shot. And I will say, I think last night he was 2 for 2, and I want to double check that, from 3. Yeah. He made some big time shots last night. He was 2 for 3 from 3, which is thank God. But yes, on Monday, it was not great. And when you go into OT, so Jamal Murray, of course, had 39 minutes. 17 points is not enough from your second option in overtime. Like
especially when you're playing up to 40 minutes a game.
Yeah, like that's just insane. And I know Jamal Murray has never, like that's the running joke of the NBA. Jamal Murray hasn't made an all-star game because he's not a regular season, like that's a regular season award, and he doesn't show it in the regular season. But we're old enough. Like I'm so sorry. You got whatever contract extension. You have to figure it out. Like, I don't know
you have
what's
to be
happening.
Making your shots.
But it's what cracks me up, it's like things like that, and everyone gets frustrated with Jamal, and then he pulls like a Jamal, and then you can never be mad. So the shot to like literally send us into overtime was a pass. Of course, if we didn't have Nikola Jokic, this would never exist. So just let us explain that first. But it was a dime pass to Jamal, and then he like went under the basket and like reverse laid it up.
It was
like,
perfect. Yeah.
It's just, that's what Jamal Murray gets paid to do. Thank God.
It's almost like the like inconsistencies is kind of like what I would say. You know, like you'll have these games where he can be flashy and make crazy plays happen. And then you have games where it's just kind of like he's just kind of a non-factor. Like he's just there taking up space on the floor. And I don't
dribbling
mean that
the air
in like
out of the ball sometimes. There were really poor
Yeah.
shot selection last night, in my opinion.
For the first 3 quarters, the Nuggets are, I would say that like at least last night, what's his butt? Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, and who was it? Was it CB? Like fought us out of, like they were the reason that we got to overtime last night. AG had, or I'm sorry, Russell Westbrook is who I was thinking of, because of he had monster defensive plays. He was shooting lights out. So was AG. AG I think had 20 points in the fourth quarter by himself. And so his shot was falling, which was amazing.
AG was much more aggressive on Monday, which felt good. Like the last thing I'll say about Monday's game, because last night was obviously a much more tense game, is Julian Strawther ended up playing 22 minutes, 9 points, 2 rebounds. He was 100% from the field. He was 3 for 3 from the field, 2 for 2 3-pointers. He's trying so hard to be a good defender. I love him so much because like you can see, it literally looks like he's a little kid sometimes because he's so young and he's like trying so hard, but he makes like little stupid fouls. So like he got in foul trouble against the Clippers
a lot too. Like he gets, I feel like he doesn't like always know exactly where to be.
I think he has all the right tools to become a good defender, but I think right now his problem is reading defense and learning how to, because as soon as they like switch off of him, like he's like, where did they go? And then he's like bumping into our team.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And like the thing that I love about him that I will say, because like he's still so young. And so I think that defense is one of those things that like you have to build on as you grow in the league and everything like that. It's one of those things that like it will come if you want it to come. And he's one of those guys that puts forth the effort, which I love. But like I said, he just looks lost. Like you know that he wants to do it.
He's trying
and you
so
see
hard.
him moving. Yeah, like you see him moving. You see him like when they switch, he's like, okay,
where
like I need to be
Where'd
somewhere
my guy
else.
Go?
Yes, I need to be somewhere else.
Oh,
like I
sorry,
said,
Michael.
he
Didn't mean to run right into you there.
Literally, yes. Just kind of looks like a little bit lost on the defensive end, but he, like you said, he's trying, and you know that he wants it so bad.
Which I'm so grateful for.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that's like, to me, that's like the biggest thing. It's where you can be like, okay, he will be good. He just has to figure it out. And like you said, be better at like reading the defense, reading what's happening.
I would say like, not my bold take, but just like, because I think it's pretty obvious that most of these guys, actually, I'm sure like 99% of the guys in the league did not have to play defense in high school, because like you have to think about all the high school basketball players. And then these guys were like literally, you know, of course, miles and miles above them and just dunking on everyone. Like they, you know, like guys like this were scoring like 50 points a game, 60 points a game in high school. Like,
just
not
dunking
that much,
on little 5'10" kids.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you know, like they were the ones that were tall in middle school annoyingly. And then you have all these teams of high schoolers that are like 5'8". So in my opinion, I think it's definitely like a learning process for a lot of them, because once you get to the league, it's a whole different story. And of course you build your way up in college, but a lot of these guys do only play 1 or 2 years in college, which is still, it's like just another step up from high school. And then once you get to the league, it's just the best of the best. So I think like just a lot of them come from never having to ever had to play defense in their life, because you had high school kids and they were
it's
just
funny that
elite
it's
athletes.
so funny that you say that too, because I was talking or looking and maybe talking in my head about I'm psychotic. I was thinking about like young players that are good defenders, or that like, you know, like Alex Sarr. He's currently averaging 2 blocks a game. Or someone like Wemby, someone like Zachary
People that are like 7 feet tall already.
Yes. Well, so people that are really tall, but the thing that all 3 of those guys have in common is that they all came from the French national basketball team. So being like over there, they weren't coming from like high school and college. Like they've been playing with like EuroLeague professionals and things like that.
Yeah, their entire
and so
lives.
that's what I was saying. Exactly. So that's what I was saying is like that's kind of like what I was noticing about guys like that is that if they do come in a lot of the times, you'll see that they've had like a little bit of a different background than someone like Julian Strawther or CB or whatever.
You know, that's so real because same thing like with Jokic and coming from Europe, they play like in Serbia and all those places. They play
so young
the right way. Well, so young, but it's all about like passing the ball. Like it's not about ego, and the USA is very egocentric. Like they make you up into like gods almost, you know, you have like hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers in high school and everyone, you know, and then like I went to UK, they literally are insane. Like you are literally
like
treated, you are treated like famous. So I think that's a big difference. That doesn't happen in Europe. So I think a lot of the guys, like, they just love the game so much. And I'm not saying the guys here don't love the game, but they learn a different way and they are treated differently. And Jokic has like said stuff about that before. You know, he doesn't want to be famous. He hates the NBA, I'm pretty sure, like just the way it's run kind of, because like he doesn't like media, you know, and I think he's realized this year, which I feel so bad because we've talked about how Jokic's perfect game would, be like 20 assists and 15 points or, you know, whatever, like anything, or 12 points even, you know. But
he's the guy that makes stuff happen. He's not normally the guy
he
that
likes
makes
to
all
facilitate.
The points. Yeah.
And I think it's clear that at least for right now, while they're figuring things out, that he does have to be that offensive person. And I just feel so bad because I'm like, how many years have we given him a terrible bench? I just want to like, why can't we lighten his load? Because now, you know, he shot 40 points the other night. And then last night, luckily our shots were starting to fall a little bit. That was an insanely offensive game.
In the fourth quarter,
Insanely offensive game. The Nets, we gave up 40 points to the Nets in the first quarter, to the Nets.
Yep.
The defense?
I know.
No, I was looking. I made sure my glasses were on. I didn't see any defense in the first half. I know you're coming off the second night of a back-to-back. To be fair, the NBA schedule sucks. Those guys got in. I believe they said they were not in the hotel until 3 a.m. And then you have a game the next night because they were in Toronto, back-to-back, fly to New York, get in at 3 a.m. So I'm like not excusing them, but I'm saying it sucks. I can't imagine doing that.
Well, and then they have to do that again like this weekend. Like they're getting so many
Friday and Saturday.
The Warriors have a back-to-back now and then a back-to-back coming up. The Wizards are on their second night of a back-to-back. Like I feel like there's so many back-to-backs for a lot of these teams. It really is a disservice, especially when you're the Nuggets, who currently have not won a game in regulation. The only two games that they've won have been their overtime games.
Two shitty games.
Yeah.
I will say
they just need
a lot of these guys on the Nets, because you know they've talked about how the Nets are tanking or whatnot. It almost seems like some of them are auditioning for free agency and for the trading block there.
Some of them are playing so good.
They were shooting the freaking lights out on us. Dennis Schroeder had 5 3-pointers. Cam Johnson had 6 3-pointers. Zaire Williams had, was it 4 from 5?
Holy crap.
Cam Thomas was 1 for 8 from the 3-point line, but he ended up with 26 points because he had 9 free throws. But he was 36 shooting. But it did feel like towards the end that he was making everything for whatever reason.
Yes,
the cams were...
The cams were camming.
The cams were camming. Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas. It was very annoying. It felt like in the first quarter, I think they were hoping like, oh, it's the Nets. And then they were like, you guys are doing this tonight. Like,
again.
We're doing this shit where you're going to like literally make every 3-pointer. Like, come on.
So freaking annoying. And that's why I was so grateful, because I had almost just like chalked this up to another loss, just because, I mean, we were down 17. And so like for AG and Russell Westbrook and of course Nikola Jokic to come out in the fourth quarter and essentially will us to overtime by themselves was very impressive. And so shout out to them for that. The Nuggets gotta figure it out though. Like I said, I think you just gotta start making your shots. Maybe be a little bit smarter on defense. I'd like to see a little bit more like help defense to, cut off lanes and stop
Both
guys from
games-
just driving to the basket. But
Both games have like featured so many blow-bys where you're watching them be kind of like lazy on defense and then they just go right to the lane and everyone's like, anyone?
that was easy peasy.
Like we're just giving them free points. And then I will say last night was obviously so much better offensively. Of course, you did have overtime, but, Michael Porter Jr., 16 points. It was really good. He was 3 from 4 from the 3. He finally...
MPJ? He was
4
finally
from 7.
making his shots.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think he was 4 from 7 from 3, which was nice to see. I would like to see some more consistency. Of course, we needed that like dagger 3 in overtime and it missed. And then it went back on the other end and they got one. And then luckily it came back and CB drained a 3. But Aaron Gordon, 24 points, Jokic with 29, 18 and 16. Christian Brown, 12 points. Jamal Murray, 24. Julian Strawther, 7. Russell, 22. Peyton Watson, 7. Like everyone finally was at least contributing a little bit.
Yep.
And I wanted to read this stat about Jokic because I said I was going to last night. So
please do.
He, in NBA history, one player in their entire career has had all 3 of a 25-15-15 game, which he, of course, had more. A game with 40-plus points on 1 or fewer made free throws. He made 1 free throw in the 40-point game on Monday, by the way.
Out of his 2 tries.
Out of his 2 attempts, okay? James Harden, you could never. Joel Embiid could never. Shea could never.
Ever.
A game with 7+ made threes. That was also on Monday. I forgot.
Insane.
Jokic three-pointer coming back? Did he find it again?
I know. It's terrifying to me. If Jokic's three-pointer comes back, I just feel bad for anyone that has to play against him.
So he did all of those things in a different game over the last 4 days. So thank God for Nikola Jokic. I can see the frustration in his face. So I hope I can see that the team is starting to figure it out a little more. I think the conditioning was a big thing, to be honest. And I'm kind of glad they went into overtime on a back-to-back because damn it, they needed it.
They needed it. That's exactly what I was going to say.
They've been playing young guys.
And they've just been so, you can tell that they have been so out of shape. Like Jokic is playing the most minutes on their team and he is like just absolutely dominating everyone. And so I think the rest of the team just needs to catch up.
But shout out to Russell Westbrook. He finally had a game.
I can't wait till we go over our agendas and I can put the green arrow next to my Russ.
Oh my God. Thank you, Lord, for Russell Westbrook.
I'm so happy for him.
I will say, Russell is Russell, okay? The Russ experience is a bumpy ride, ladies and gentlemen. For every 2 good plays, you probably get equally 2 bad plays. But it ended up with us winning. His energy is great. You see a different energy out of the guys, because he's yapping a little bit on the court. And I'm not used to seeing our guys.
He's a talker.
Talk. Yeah. But they're talking and I love it. Aaron Gordon standing up for Russell, almost getting in he got a tech. And on Monday, and then, I love when they jaw a little bit. And I think Jamal got a dunk earlier in the game and talked his shit.
He was talking so much shit. Yeah.
I love some shit talking. It's so good.
Me too.
The last thing I did want to shout out the Nets though. They played hard. Cam Johnson, 20 points.
They looked great.
Dennis Schroeder, 28. Cam Thomas, 26. Nick Claxton, 16. Zaire Williams, 18. They were shooting the lights out, especially in the first quarter. And well done to fight against. A lot of people were agreeing that once you have like the championship pedigree, I'm just glad as a Nuggets fan that we can still close games. That's what I have to say. But
thank God. Yeah. Like I said, I would really love if they could start closing games in regulation, like with a win, so that they're not playing 40 minutes a night. So like that's what I'm looking for. Like if I'm looking for different things for the
Friday.
Nuggets to do, me too. I can't wait to be with you during it. We're going to have so much fun.
I hope. I honestly, I don't know how Friday's going to go. I don't think we've come along as quick as Timberwolves have with kind of incorporating, because they only had one new piece really to fit in. So I don't know how it's going to go. Right now, I honestly kind of chalk this up as being a loss. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself and give them grace. We've played a lot of good teams. You know, we played the Clippers and Thunder so far, besides, you know, the 2 that we won. And I think that was good just to get 2 wins under the belt, even if it was an OT. They're figuring it out. Better to figure it out with teams like that before you play people like the Timberwolves. So we played Timberwolves Friday and then another back-to-back. But they have 2 days off in between. And then Caitlin and I are going to be at the game on Saturday.
Yay.
Woo! Okay, enough about the Nuggets.
I was going to say, and with that, do you want to talk about the Wolves and Mavs just while we're talking about it, since we're looking ahead to that game on Friday?
Sure.
I know it's super random, but like, I feel like we should talk about Anthony Edwards' 24-point first quarter. 24 out of their 34 points.
Anthony, what are you taking?
He was unstoppable. It did not matter what the Mavs did. He was draining everything. He was dunking on people, perfect layups. Like, I don't know what happened, but he looked like Wilt Chamberlain for a little bit, just making points on points. I thought he was going to have a 100-point game.
I really did. I was actually kind of sad to see that he only ended up with only 37.
Yes,
but
I agree. Well, you think that I feel like with a first quarter stat line like he had, I literally would have expected him to get a 50 ball.
Yeah, he was 7 for 13 from 3, and I think that's why he had five turnovers. Anthony Edwards is so athletic. And if any of you have watched Starting 5, literally nothing he said surprised me. He's like, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I used to eat whatever I wanted and not do any of that treatment stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you look like the type to do that. He's like, I've started taking it a little more serious. I'm like,
thank God.
It's just funny. It's like people like that and like Zion that are, they're just athletes. Like they're so athletic that they never had.
Yeah.
It's like how Ocho Cinco, he said he would only eat like McDonald's every day. Like some of these people are just freak athletes.
Like I said, that's one of the things that I loved about Anthony Edwards was that that was one of the things that I like when I first started liking him a few years ago was because he kept talking about how he just would eat like 4 bags of hot Cheetos a day. And I was like, I love this guy. Same. I also do that. I too do that. And yeah, so I'm glad to hear that he's taking it a little bit more seriously. Those stomach ulcers probably don't feel great. Don't
hate to tell ya.
But either way, he had a monster game, at least that monster first quarter. He ended up playing really well the rest of the game. I would say that like his team showed up the rest of the game, so he didn't really have to, do that. Obviously, they ended up not winning anyway. Mavs still beat them 120-114. But a lot of that had to do with the fact that Kyrie Irving showed up and just annihilated.
He was Kyrie Irving.
He just annihilated the Wolves
points.
defense. Yep, and he just like
35.
He was
Jesus.
Yeah. It was him and Luka both had a fantastic game. I would say that Luka had a rough first half, but he came back in the second half and started playing well.
Yeah, he was shooting 37%. And then, of course, he was 1 for 8 from 3. He did the thing that great players do. Like I said, Jamal Murray had that insane layup to help us out on Monday. And then Luka had that dagger 3 to kind of help
from
seal
the
game.
Logo. Yes.
Yeah. He's an animal. His shot volume is also insane.
He puts up like 30 shots a game.
Yeah. You'll be like, oh, Luka had another like 30-point game, but it was like he like shot 7 from like 35. Like shit like that always cracks me up. Oh, that's like another reason why I'm so obsessed with Jokic is like he will literally have a 40-point game while literally shooting like 70%. It's disgusting. Kyrie scored 16 of his 35 points in the third quarter. I think that's honestly basically the reason they won. They got lucky. Ant had his huge scoring offense in the first quarter, and then the Dallas Mavericks were able to close it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like just like after Ant's first quarter, like I feel like everything just kind of like slowed down for the Wolves and everything kind of ended up speeding up for the Mavs because Kyrie had such a good game, and Kyrie's just like such a good finisher, but also a really good facilitator.
Yeah.
But what's important to note too is that Klay had a pretty bad game. I wouldn't say bad. He only had 7 points though. But like, I was watching the game back and he played 30 minutes and like, it's not like he was like awful, but he wasn't like a detriment. He was just kind of like there.
I think like my biggest takeaway from that game was obviously a really close match. It was a rematch of the Western Conference Finals, is that the Mavericks continue to prove that everyone was wrong when they said they don't play defense. They had 12 steals. And another thing, like when you have Luka and, you know, like kind of a mini slump, you know, early in the game, Kyrie took over. And that's usually, luckily, kind of what we've had in the past with like Jamal and Jokic. But we need, we need both of those contributions. It showed like in that game clearly how important it is for your top two guys to have it going. And yeah, it was a really close game. I could see it going either way. I don't think it was like this team was this much better than the other team.
Totally.
I think they're both great teams. I have them ranked very highly in the Western Conference. I think I put Timberwolves possibly at 2 and Mavs at 4, Nuggets at 3.
Yeah.
I don't think the Nuggets are going to be
Mine were around there. No, I have the Nuggets might be a play-in team if they continue playing how they're playing.
Okay, don't be rude. I was going to say that maybe they'll be at like 5, 6.
Okay.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. But like bless your soul. Do it again. No? Okay, great. Okay. But no, I was gonna say pretty much the same thing. Like when I was watching the game back and I watched some game highlights a couple of times as well. There was no like big outlier or anything crazy on either team. Like both teams had a fantastic game.
I think the only outlier would be that Minnesota had 20 turnovers and those led to 25 points for the Mavs.
Touche, never mind then.
I just mean that, like, I think it could have gone either way. Like, if, you know, because the Timberwolves aren't going to have 20 turnovers per game. So I think it was just one of those. It was not their day. And it wasn't even the Mavs' day to start. So I will
and that's kind of like what I'm saying is that, like, I feel like it was a very evenly matched game. Like, there were no, like, glaring, like, this person is better than this person or, like, this matchup sucks. Like, I feel like everyone kind of did their thing. Because I think that the Mavs had quite a few turnovers as well. I mean, with the Mavs having 12 steals, obviously those are going to, you know, be turnovers for the Wolves. But it just it was a really high scoring game. And it's always so fun watching some of the best offensive players play against each other. I love games like that. So both of those are going to be contenders.
Oh, of course.
Speaking of contenders or pretenders, that was genius. Let's talk about the Clippers because the Clippers are kind of...
What about them?
The Clippers are actually looking kind of good. Right now, they're only 2-1, which isn't like a bad thing because their wins were against Denver and the Warriors, and their only loss was to the Suns in overtime. And James Harden looks good and Kawhi's not playing and PG's not there. So my question is James Harden the system, Spencer?
No.
Was he right all along? Does he need to be the first option? No? Okay. I love that.
I mean, that's the only way he can get anywhere is when he is, you know, the first option.
The first or only option.
But let's just, mind you, he's shooting 36% from the field and committing 6.7 turnovers averaged per game.
Okay, perfect. Good. I love this. We hate him. He is a pretender.
I think the Clippers, it's reminding me of what happened last year where they had a stretch where they were good for a few games. And then you remember that James Harden is 35 and annoying. And no offense, but what did Norman Powell shoot against us? Like 35 points, something fucking stupid. Hold on.
I think I remember because that's what someone was saying about the Warriors game as well, was they were like, we're really going to lose to Norman Powell.
37 points. So I don't think that is, I think he's gotten lucky. I don't think the Clippers are contenders. I will say I don't think they're going to end up as low as I had them potentially.
Okay.
But I will say the one thing that they are doing really well is defense, which I'm kind of shocked out. They held Phoenix to 103 points, and then they held Denver and Golden State to 104 points. So they're third in the league right now. Of course, it's a very small sample size, but right now they're third.
It's tiny,
they're third in
early
the league defensive rating, and Steve Kerr even said Clippers defense forced Warriors into a lot of bad passes, and they didn't handle it too well. So I think defense could be a way to keep them in a lot of games, but I don't think Norman Powell is going to be putting up those numbers every night. And
right. He put up 20 against the Warriors too.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that. I mean, clearly he's like showing that he can be an offensive piece, but I also don't really love Zubats. And he had like a crazy stat line against the Warriors. So I think they're just getting lucky these first couple games. I know it's kind of mean.
That's valid.
And I can't say anything because the Nuggets have played like shit. But
yeah, Zubac, he absolutely crushed the Warriors, and I think that's probably due to the Warriors' lack of size, and he just he eats them alive in the paint and around the rim. So I think that's probably part of it too, at least with the Warriors. So I guess maybe matchup makes sense there. Thankfully, with like the Nuggets, he is, Jokic can handle himself, but I will just be interested to see how they look down the stretch and just as we continue on in the season, because like I said, I was because everyone was like saying, oh, Clippers, Clippers not in the playoffs, that's not a bold take, Caitlin, and then the Clippers came and beat their teams, and I was like, okay, well, maybe it is.
I don't know. A lot of the NBA heads were talking about how good the Clippers were, and I don't think they're going to be that good. I think James Harden is old. And I don't see them. Maybe they'll make the play-in. I don't think they're a playoff team.
Deal. We're staying at Pretenders then.
Pretenders.
Love it.
Moving on to a team that we were just talking about, the Warriors, because a lot of people are very divided on if they're a playoff team, because a lot of people don't think they're going to make the playoffs this year. And I'd like to hear what you have to say about that, Caitlin.
Well, here's the thing. As I like to do, I like to recognize I am a biased human. I think emotionally, okay? I do have bias towards my team and everything like that. I will say that. But Buddy Hield is showing to be exactly what the Warriors need him to be. He had a rough game. I think it was against the Clippers when we lost to the Clippers. He had only made, goodness gracious, less than 10 points. He had a tough game against the Clippers. If I remember correctly, it was 8 points. He had 8 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and was a -7 overall. His shot was not there. But other than that, he has been a monster, just shooting wise. He's been all over the place. And right now the Warriors are without Steph, Wiggins, and DeAnthony Melton. And so being without DeAnthony Melton, you're not losing a lot of shooting, but you are losing defense. With Wiggins out, you're losing a little bit of both. He's a consistent 15 to 17 points usually. And then plus he's great on defense. And then with Steph, you're obviously missing Steph Curry. There's literally nothing else you can say about that. And so last night, the Warriors had an incredible game. And again, it wasn't against, it was against the Pelicans. So it was a good team. Minus DeJounte Murray and Trey Murphy. They are whole. They have Zion, okay? Zion, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, the works. But the Warriors' deep bench played fantastic against this Pelicans team.
Wait.
They played what?
They played them again tonight?
Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying, is all these teams have back-to-backs against everyone.
Each other, though. Well, no,
I know.
That's weird. Sorry. Continue.
I know. No,
I was just looking because I was looking to find the box score, and then it says today at 8. And I was like, what?
The Wizards play the Hawks again today and just played them yesterday as well. So I said, the whole thing is so weird. So the Warriors deep bench just played so well against this Pelicans team. They started off a little bit slow, but I think that's probably because when you have guys like Steph Curry and Wiggins out, and then DeAnthony Melton is out, and you're benching Jonathan Kuminga, now you're out 3 bench players. So you have a whole new starting 5 essentially. You're not really going to know your place, I guess. And so I feel like the first quarter, they kind of just looked like shit. And I just, they looked really bad. They, had a lot of turnovers. They weren't really playing a lot of defense. Everyone looked just like lost, which, like I said, that's valid. But like second quarter on, it was so cool to watch these guys just like figure it out and everyone find their stride within the game. Like Lindy Waters, who is a rando 27-year-old who's kind of been around the block, fighting his way into the league, I like to say. He's probably spent some time, I think, in the G League and then bounces around. So kind of like a GP2 over the past several years. But he had 21 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Pods had 19 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal, and 2 blocks. Buddy Hield, 28 points total, 19 just in the fourth quarter. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 2 steals. Moses Moody, 17 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. Kuminga, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block. And so these kids came out and they all put up numbers on both ends of the court. They were all over the place. The rest, like, I don't know how you have guys like Zion and Brandon Ingram who don't know how to stop this Warriors young team, but they found a way. And Kuminga, I got to shout him out because he did get benched and he's the king of ego. And
I actually wanted to talk to you about that because I brought up earlier in kind of our preview that the Warriors are deeper than I think anyone realized. And that often can create locker room issues with people thinking they should start. And so when they asked him about it, he said, "It wasn't my decision. I got a text. This is how it's going to go. This is who it's going to be. And I went with it. What am I supposed to do? Ask why I'm not starting? This is the decision of the coach and we'll follow what he's going to do." Do you think he was bitter? Because it kind of sounds like it.
Yes. And he's always bitter. So what I always talk about, like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
No, because I always like to say that he's like that pesky kid in high school that's like the class clown and just kind of like an asshole to be an asshole, but has potential to grow. You know what I'm saying? Like you can work with them. And so that's kind of like how he's always been. Like I feel like he and the Warriors front office and Steve Kerr have always butt heads. Because like last year he was like, I need to be a starter and I need to be playing like 30 minutes a game. I'm incredible. Like, and he went out and he had a fantastic season. This season they make him a starter, but they didn't do the contract extension. Like they didn't get a contract extension done. And he comes out and he plays like crap. And so him getting benched was apparently, according to the coaches, it was a spacing issue because without Steph Curry and Wiggins, they had to put other players in, and putting Kuminga in with like TJD and Draymond is like spacing issues up the ass. Like it's going to be so crowded.
Is Buddy Hield and Moses Moody were both shooting over 50% from 3 and Kuminga was shooting 16%. So
correct. Exactly. And so I think that's like part of the reason that they made that choice too was like not only because of spacing, because that's what Steve Kerr said, was that it was like a spacing thing, which I get. But I think also if it's a spacing thing, you could talk about, taking out TJD and putting in, putting freaking Draymond at the 5. They've done it before, but things like that. But he came out and he played and he had a great game and he, didn't seem bitter about it on the court. And I think that that's a step in the right direction because in the past, he has absolutely let decisions like this affect his play. Like he'll, get told that he's only going to be, playing 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And then he comes out and he's just like kind of pouting the whole game and not actually playing his brand of basketball.
You can tell the body language is off.
Exactly. And he's that guy. They butt heads all the time. But he came out and he played. And so I think while he probably is bitter, I think that shows a lot of maturity for him, that he was willing to still come out and help win the game. But I think he also played so well to be like, bench me again, bitch. Do it again.
I feel like he kind of threw Steve Kerr under the bus because now all of the articles are like, Jonathan Kuminga wasn't even told in person. It was over a text. So I'm sure he probably got reamed for that one a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, who knows?
And like I said, I mean, literally, I'm not even joking. Like in the past, he's made stupid comments like that, like talking shit about like the coach in the front office. And so like I said, he's one of those guys that like he's gonna be a pest, and he kind of has an attitude, which I don't love. But like I said, I think it shows a lot of maturity that he played, you know, the way that he would normally play, even after being benched. And here's the thing, too, is that our loss to the Clippers, we only lost by 8, and Pods and Buddy Hield were both shooting 25 and 21%. And so when, you know, I would say like your second and fourth option, we'll go with that, are shooting like shit. Like losing by 8 isn't the end of the world, especially when the Clippers were playing as well as they were in that game. So I think that they are still really good. I don't have any worries about them. Watching them is really fun. Like they all kind of get it, and they're all playing team basketball, and they all look like locked in and like they want it. And I always appreciate that. Steph and DeAnthony Melton are getting looked at again on Friday to like come back soon. And then Wiggins, I don't really know the update of his injury. He has a back injury for some reason. And so I don't really know what that looks like. But I think Steph Curry, like the fact that they were able to win against the Pelicans without Steph Curry tells me a lot.
Let's see if they can do it again.
I know tonight. I just, man, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this team. They look really, really good. So I'm hoping that it's not. I'm hoping they're not pretenders. Okay.
Yeah, Charles Barkley said last night that their window is shut and they had a good run.
Yeah, Charles Barkley is also a notorious Warriors hater. The Warriors fans literally hate him. Every time he comes to the Bay, the Warriors fans literally have a chant.
Kendrick Perkins to the Nuggets is Charles Barkley to the Warriors.
1,000%. Yes. As Kendrick Perkins is like the biggest Nuggets hater and like the biggest Jokic like questioner. That's exactly how Charles Barkley is. I'm not like literally when he comes to the Bay, they literally have a chant in the background for TNT that says they're like, fuck Chuck. Like they literally
they don't like him at all.
No, because that's exactly what he does. He comes out and he talks shit about like Steph. Like Shaquille O'Neal will always like defend Steph and always like talks about how Steph is, you know, the greatest 3-point shooter of all time. And exactly. And Chuck always has to like chime in and be like, but this, but that, but this, but that. Like he's always just been such a hater, and he always talks so much crap about this team.
Haterade.
So, straight up. So yeah, Warriors fans hate him, and so he literally makes nasty comments just to make nasty comments. So that's him. But I don't know. I love this Warriors team. You were watching with me yesterday. What were your thoughts when you were watching them?
I just love Buddy Hield. I love Buddy Hield.
He was so good in the fourth quarter. He was
wish we had him on the fucking Nuggets. He is a freaking sniper. I loved him on the Pacers. I hope that he has a great season with them. He is my 6th man of the year pick, and I could see him potentially getting a starting position, but they just, again, they have so many people. So I do worry about that like locker room, the vibes, the egos. It's a lot.
I would say
a lot of egos, a lot of personalities.
I would say that the only person I worry about is Kuminga, and I feel like he's like one issue away from a trade anyway.
Yeah.
The rest of the guys on this team, exactly, because he was asking for big buckaroonies, and they did not want to give them to him because he has not shown himself worth it yet.
Is not a max contract player.
Literally.
Let's move on to the East Coast. Let's take a little trip over to our East Coast.
What? I said snoozeroos. Let's just take a nap. I think I deserve that.
Let's see. You do deserve a nap, but let's go on over to the East Coast, because everyone was so mad at me earlier in the year because I didn't give the Bucks enough credit. And what happened? The Bucks are on a 3-game losing streak.
Ouch.
Run and dunk man isn't running and dunking enough.
Yeah, you know, like I haven't watched like in real time a lot of the Bucks. I don't
That's
really
fine because
understand.
no one knows what's happening. Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't really understand what's happening there. Like I've like watched highlights. I've looked at stats. I've read up on it. I've caught, you know, a few minutes of games here and there, but like, I'm so confused. as to what's happening. I mean, obviously, they played the Celtics last game. Celtics played fantastic, as they do. But,
Their bench only scored 19 points against the Celtics.
Okay, so then the bench is probably going to be their biggest issue.
I know that one. I know what that's like.
Feel that?
Feel that.
Ouchie. Yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They have no bench. They have Torian Prince, Gary Trent Jr., Connaughton. Is it Aaron Jackson Jr.?
They just
Andre Jackson Jr.
The Bucks Celtics game. They had a ton of costly turnovers. They had a really bad just defensive lapses. They could not keep up with the Celtics 3-point shot, and I think that's going to be literally the story for almost every single fucking team the Celtics play. The Celtics shot 38.3%, 18 of 47. You know, the Celtics perimeter shooting was just, I mean, it's insane. Like everyone basically can shoot a 3 on their starters, and then you have people like
the Celtics are incredible
who go off for they listen.
Sixth man of the year. He's like my new guess.
The Thunder, Celtics, and Warriors, I think have like the deepest talent on their benches. I agree. But yeah, I just think Milwaukee like had a ton of like struggles trying to also shoot threes. And yeah, they have not had a game this season with less than 14 turnovers. So I think that like turnovers are a big thing for them too. But it's like weird because for the most part, like you have the same starting 5. Yeah.
You have the same guys. You have your Giannis. You have Damian Lillard. You have Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis. Like, where's the chapstick? Where's the problem? I don't understand.
I don't know. Their bench just doesn't contribute. And you could tell like the chemistry was off. And like, I honestly, like Giannis already basically said that if they don't win this year, he's likely to be traded. I think that was him saying it himself that he wants to
be. Okay.
Yeah, if they don't do anything. I fully believe that's like, I don't know if that's a bold take, but I would say that I think if they don't get far in the playoffs this year, that Giannis will request a trade. And I could even see Dame doing it, because even Dame seemed miserable last year. He was like, I'm going through a divorce. Like, I'm going through a divorce, and like there's nothing to do. Like he did not want to go to Milwaukee.
What would the Bucks be without them? What would the Bucks be without them? Yeah, I mean, they would. They would be literally one of the worst teams in the league. Like
I'm so sorry, because someone asked on our last video, they're like, no, you guys haven't talked about the Bucks. And I was like, I mean, we can talk about them, but I don't have a lot of good things to say, bestie. I'm so
sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm so sorry if you are a Bucks fan or that Bucks fan. I'm so sorry. It's got to be a rough start.
Well, because Chris Middleton is still out. So I'm like obviously Chris Middleton is a great player, but I'm like, is he literally that important to y'all? To win?
And that's what I was gonna say. Is it like he can't be? And obviously he is a integral part of their starting 5 and of their team. He really is important, especially for things like defense. But like, I don't think that that's enough to be losing several games in a row, especially to teams like the Bulls and the Nets.
The thing is like, no matter how too good your stars are, and Nuggets fans, we obviously know this, every team needs role players. Like literally, I feel like I'm talking about the Nuggets because this is what we're going through. Like every team needs role players to complement your stars throughout the season, so there's still time to turn things around. But I think if they don't, I think this could be the end of that like core 4, and Bucks might be seeking a rebuild. My one question is though, like if Giannis requests a trade, what do you think happens to Thanasis? Does the next team have to take him?
He's going straight to the Milwaukee Herd. He's going to the G League affiliate.
Does he even get that? Like, I feel like he just has to be done. Or do you think it's in his contract that Thanasis has to join him? I don't know. I was curious.
I wonder what that looks like. I am curious, because that is a very interesting
question.
Duo.
Thanks.
Yeah, it is. No, that's a great question. They're just like an interesting like duo though, and I've never really understood like what Thanasis is doing there.
He's there he's an emotional support bench piece, literally.
No, literally. I always say
he's like literally
the
wipes
water boy.
Giannis's nose from him, like for him.
I know.
Interesting.
It's a very weird dynamic over there. But like, I'm sad because like I really like Brooke Lopez. I think that Brooke Lopez is a fantastic player. I
hate the Bucks team, all of them. I hate Ryan Dunkman.
Really?
I hate Bobby
I'm not
Portis.
a big Giannis
Bobby Portis is like the
fan.
scariest person ever. Like he literally looks like he would be the crackhead on the corner yelling at me to roll down my window.
Stop.
I just don't.
Dead. Oh.
Literally, the second I saw a video of Bobby Portis literally smashing his head into a ball, I was like, I've seen enough.
What?
What do you mean, what? You've never seen this?
No.
Bobby Portis did that last year, and he's a strange character. So I just don't really like the Bucks team. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like I said, I'm not like a big fan of the Bucks team. I really like Brooke Lopez and I really like Chris Middleton. So I hope for good things for them.
This is like
I'm not like a big fan of the rest of the guys.
No, this is like the epitome of a nepotism team, though, because you have
1,000%.
Or wait, did they trade Robin? They did trade Robin, didn't they?
They did.
Or
yeah,
dropped
he's
him.
not on the team anymore. Yeah,
he was on the team though. That was funny as fuck. I saw him and I was
got
like,
the brothers
with his hair, and I was like, is that Brooke Lopez? And then I found out he had a twin, and I was like, his twin looks like the caveman from the Geico commercials.
Stop. That's exactly what I say. I literally think that they're like the same guy.
Hey,
I think that he is. I think that he does the commercials. He is Geico.
Moving on to a team that actually is exceeding expectations. And Caitlin and I were really high on them, but we said it was stipulated. Okay. So Caitlin and I both really like Darius Garland, but he had a stint without Donovan Mitchell where he was playing insane last year. And then Donovan Mitchell came back and he wasn't doing as great.
I feel like he like kind of fell back into the background and didn't really kind of play to his potential.
And now they're both going off.
They are both playing so well. And that's like, I was actually really surprised about this because like you and I talked about that, like the East is getting a little bit more competitive in terms of like seeds like 1 through 6 or like 1 through 5. Obviously we see that with the Magic. The Magic are going off and they're playing so well. We see that the Knicks are struggling a little bit and they were one of the ones that we thought were going to do really well. Celtics are obviously incredible. But then you have the Cavs. And I think we both have the Cavs pretty high in our predictions anyway. I think both of us have them top 6.
Yes.
But they are currently 4-0, and Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell and just the Cavs team in general look great. They look comfortable. They're playing really well together. They're beating some tough teams. Yeah, they're hold on, I'm gonna pull it up right meow. Sorry in advance, Spency, for you having to clip out me taking my time looking up stats.
By Orlando Magic.
All right, you ready? Cavs have beat the Knicks 110-104. They beat the Wizards, which that's not anything crazy, but they did beat the Wizards by like a good 20 points. Not something to
run home about.
No, they beat the Pistons then, but then they also have beat the Raptors. So like I said, it's not like they're playing a ton of competition, but I would say it's really just about like the way that they're playing. It's like the same way that like I feel about the Broncos and everything like that. And even the Warriors, like, are they playing great competition? No, but they're winning these games well and handily, and they're playing well while doing it. Like they're not, they're not playing messy basketball.
Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley are all playing just so well right now. And the competition in the East is really not anything to worry about, except when you get to the Celtics. I really don't see anyone beating the Celtics right now.
I don't either.
So this is kind of like how we talked about over the summer with the Chiefs. It's in their division as like the Broncos are in the division. You're competing for second best as long as you're
pretty much,
in the division with them. And that's kind of how I feel in the East so far through the past like 4 to 5 games that people have played. I think,
agree.
Every other team is competing for the top 5 seeds after 1. So if they keep playing like this, it's going to be great.
Behind, I was going to say being like, if you were to be second seed behind the Boston Celtics, like there's really nothing to complain about there. Like that's something that's very impressive to do. Yeah. And like I said, like they have guys that are just like contributing like all around the court and everything, like defensively, Evan Mobley has been disgusting. He had 4 steals and 2 blocks against the Pistons, which again, it's the Pistons. I get it. Karis LeVert, he had 3 steals and a block. You have tons of guys getting steals on this team. They're forcing turnovers. Dean Wade, who's Dean Wade? We don't know, but he just dropped 19 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, and 2 steals, shooting at 77%. That's Dean Wade.
I think Donovan Mitchell has always been aggressive on offense, and he's always going to get his. But I think the biggest key this year has been the fact that both Evan Mobley and Darius Garland are both being really aggressive on offense too.
I agree. They're big additional pieces for Donovan Mitchell to be able to do his
their
job
shots,
as well.
and I'm not mad about it. Okay, they're doing really damn good. I'm really excited about tonight. They're playing the Lakers. The Lakers obviously had a hot start. Barely lost the other night to the Suns on a missed, put back from LeBron.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting, of course, because do they boo LeBron when he goes there? I don't know. Are they mad that he left? I'm not.
I feel like he's got a ton of fans. No, I feel like he's got a ton of fans.
He brought them a
champion.
Yeah, he brought them a lot. So I guess you can't be mad at him for going whatever. But I was curious about that. I didn't know if there was any animosity.
I think it'll be a really. I'm so sorry.
I think it'll be a really competitive game.
I agree. And that's what I was going to say too, is I think the Cavs, besides the Boston Celtics, the Cavs and the Magic are the 2 teams in the East. But again, Orlando Magic. But like, I think they're like the 2 teams in the East that like are playing with an exclamation point. The way that I would say, or the way that I was saying. Exactly. The way that I was saying that the Lakers are, I think that that's the Cavs and the Magic over in the East. Again, besides the Boston Celtics.
They're playing hungry. Like
they are, that they want it.
They want it. And I think it was an interesting take because I was reading like something on Twitter today, and it was the stats talking about how the NBA like opening week was at an all-time low, like for watchers, like down like 50% and stuff from usual.
Yeah.
And a lot of people I was reading had a lot of interesting takes. A lot of people were complaining. A lot of people were saying it had to do with the price and that probably all of those viewers are on illegal streaming sites, which is probably true for half of that. But a lot of people were saying, like the competition sucks now, and like the way the rules are, and just talking about how it doesn't seem like people are hungry anymore, and they all just want the max contracts, and it's not as much that is your whole existence is about the championship anymore, which I agree. So it's good to see teams like the Lakers who, LeBron could coast. Like it's the end of his career. He could chill, so to have his team with the energy like they're playing with, and for the Cavs who, I feel like they've been supposed to be good for the past couple seasons. They got Donovan Mitchell, and I think it's a big thing that he decided to stay. I think 3-year extension. So I'm really actually interested. They beat us last year, I believe, like around Christmas time. I just remember being very sad about the Nuggets losing to them last year, and I was like, Darius Garland had went off, and I was like, who is this guy? Like who is this
guy? Yeah,
amazing. So I think the ceiling for them is pretty high, and I think they're playing well right now. So again, we have such small sample sizes, so we got to take everything like week by week, and
with a grain of salt and stuff. And I think you're totally right with that too, is that like over the past couple of years, no one has really felt hungry, and I think we've talked about that a lot in like the East and everything, just like with the bottom 8
it's like they're all just trying to tank so they can get better draft picks. Like
exactly. And that's kind of something that like drives me nuts, because like I was talking about like the Wizards, and I was saying that the Wizards, I think, could literally win 30 games if they actually tried. And people are like, but we're tanking. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. You don't have to tank. I know that was a very bold take. It was before the season, and I was just excited. Okay.
I love you so
I know
much.
that they couldn't do that, but
I love your optimism.
Their future is bright there, and we'll talk about that in a minute even. But I think like you're right. Like I think that people are taking the 1 and 2 kind of struggling Knicks and using it as their opportunity to kind of get ahead early before the Knicks figure it out. They're taking their competition seriously. They're playing well. They're playing the right way. They're, trying to limit turnovers. They're making sure that they're playing defense. I feel like a lot of people start out the season maybe like the Nuggets and like a couple of other teams who are not super conditioned and in shape. Whereas like these teams came out like the Magic and the Cavs, and they come out and they are in shape and they are in like mid-season form, and they've been practicing together all summer and working hard and stuff, and like they want it. They really, really want it. And I think that they're two teams that deserve that. And I think that the Knicks have some people coming for their throats.
Agreed.
Yeah, but do we want to talk about my Wizards?
Yeah, before we talk, let's talk about the teams that are kind of the worst right now. So sorry. And then we'll go. I just wanted to mention, I just feel bad. So the only two teams that have not gotten a win yet are the Jazz and the Pistons.
Yeah.
I feel so, I don't want to talk about them too much because, you know, this episode is going to end up being forever. But I just feel so bad for the Pistons because Cade Cunningham continues to be an amazing player.
He deserves better.
Jaden Ivey is playing some of the best basketball of his like small young career. And, you know, Malik Beasley's struggling like to find his rhythm. But, you know, Tim Hardaway Jr. helped with a third quarter comeback. And then the other day, and they still couldn't get it done. I don't know what it is. I think the matchups
they just don't have enough. I just think that they don't have enough, and the guys are still so young, and it's hard when you're playing teams
they really
like the Cavs. You know what I'm saying?
And the Pacers, they really struggle against like perimeter shooting and the other bench players, especially like Pacers have some good, you know, TJ McConnell's a great guy off their bench. Like I've always said I wish the Nuggets could get TJ McConnell.
Yep.
So I just feel really bad for them. And then the Jazz, I don't know what they're doing. You just got Lauri back. I think that was a dumb decision.
I think it was stupid. About that?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, and I just think it's funny because I almost like compared and I almost talked about it, but I would have gone on for way too long. Mm-hmm. A lot of people in the league thought that the Warriors were insane for not giving up Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski for Lauri Markannen. Lauri Markannen is averaging like less than 15 points right now. Horrible shooting. He's a giant dude and he's averaging like 6 rebounds a game. And he's just like, he's not playing super well.
I don't like
his
him.
Defense, I don't either.
I don't even know why.
His defense has been lacking. Yeah. It's a vibe.
You know those players you just don't like for no reason? And I say this often. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows if you follow.
She
I
has
have a
a
lot
list.
Of players. Yeah, I've got a list. And Lauri's on it.
Yeah. And that's valid because I understand that. It is. It really is. But like, he just like, you have him who like, people were wanting the Warriors to give up their entire young core for him. And he's putting up by himself like maybe 15 points a game. And he's kind of supposed to be the leader of that team, you know? And so I'm like, you're not really leading. And then you have the Warriors.
The Warriors beat them bad.
Yes, and their guys have been averaging, like the guys that they wanted us to trade for him have been averaging like the same as him. And so we're getting double or triple what we would have had if Lauri was on our team. And so I think that the Warriors, at least in this small sample size, as we keep saying, the Warriors have made a good decision by not giving up everything. I
don't know if Lauri would have been a good fit on the Warriors.
I don't think so either. I think that he would have been like a Kyle Anderson or like a Buddy Hield or, you know, like one of those guys where like, sure, he'll help a little bit. Not Buddy Hield, I'm sorry, Kyle Anderson or DeAnthony Melton. Like, sure, he'll help a little bit, but like, you're not coming in to be our second option. We don't have a system that works for a big second option. There's not a spot
big enough for him.
Exactly. Especially when we have Draymond Green. Why would we get another giant 4 when we have weird. Draymond Green at the 4? It would have been weird. The whole thing is weird. So they are both playing really bad. They are giving the Wizards
Pistons,
a run for their money.
Then the Pistons played the 76ers today and then the Knicks on Friday and then they play the Nets. So maybe they get one against the Nets, but then they play the Lakers. Their schedule,
it's a tough schedule coming up for them.
And the Jazz play the Spurs tomorrow. So I guess Lauri versus Wemby. Then they play us on Saturday, the Nuggets. Then they have the Bulls, the Bucks, the Spurs. Then you have the Suns and the Mavs. I don't know. Their schedule doesn't look too great. I don't know.
Both of them have tough games coming up. I would love to see if they become like the 2023 Detroit Pistons, where we're all seeing if they break the loss record.
I think didn't we both have them in dead last?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Our agenda is agenda.
Last. We're literally so smart.
Love that.
Love that for us.
But now we can talk about your Wizards because I love you so much. But they entered Tuesday's games 29th in offense and 30th in defense.
Yep. And here's my thing. I'm not gonna.
Yep.
I'm not here to say that they're great because they're.
Okay.
Yes. No, I'm not here to say that they're great.
You're not going to put lipstick on a pig?
Hell no. What I want to talk about is the fact that their future is bright. And I think that is showing. First of all, we'll talk about not their future. We'll talk about their current, Jordan Poole, who is going off and having a fantastic season. He is currently leading the league in steals, averaging 3 steals a game and half a block a game. And first of all, like if you know Jordan Poole lore, people used to always shit on him about how bad his defense was. So I love to see him coming out and just like getting in there and forcing turnovers and, putting in that
making
effort. We
plays.
talk about this. Yes, we talk about this all the time. There are so many people that if you just put in the effort, you'd be incredible. Jordan Poole he's playing so well. And as I've talked about this before, he's point guard Jordan Poole this year. He gets to
Caitlin was very excited about PG guard. PG Jordan.
Yes.
PGJP.
Yes. PGJP. Yes, because they lost Tyus Jones, and Tyus Jones is now with the Suns, obviously, and he's doing just fine as their point guard. But when you have someone like Tyus Jones, who's a true point guard, and then you have like a Jordan Poole who could be like a shooting guard or a point guard, but like needs to be a point guard. Like he needs to be a point guard, and he's doing so well with it. He's so confident. He is like, truly, I would say exceeding expectations. Everyone thought that he was going to be ass times 2 again, and he has just been amazing. I'm going to pull up his stats right now because he's
pull them up because I wanted to say I think they're building up a really good young core, but I do think they're going to have to, since they're like in rebuilding mode and they're building up from kind of the ground up, I do think that they're going to need to move Valanciunas, Brogdon, and Kuzma before February. Maybe not all of them, but maybe
I agree completely. I'm
Get
totally
rid of those
there with you.
old vets. We didn't need any of them.
Yes, I agree completely because I think that Valanciunas, just like with the way that he plays, he's one of those guys that's like very set in his ways and very set in his play style. And it doesn't really fit in with a team that's trying to create something together, especially when you know that Valanciunas isn't going to be there long term. Like he's just kind of there to be there. And I feel like he's more of a detriment. Exactly. Yeah. I feel like he's been more of a detriment. I think if they're going to move anyone out of those 3, I think that Valanciunas is absolutely going to be the one that they would choose. And
Kuzma
then also
too. Kuzma's got to go.
And he's
I don't know where
now.
he's gonna go, but he's got to go somewhere.
I know.
You don't have to go home, but you got to get the fuck up out of here, baby.
I haven't heard that in so long. Stop. That's so funny. I love that. You look so cute right now. Oh my God, with your sparkly hair. You're so pretty. I can't. Stop. You're welcome. I just like looked up and I was like, whoa, she's glowing. Okay. Jordan Poole is currently averaging 22 points a game, 1 rebound, 5 assists, 3 steals, and half a block. And the one rebound always bugs me, but I always say like he's on a team full of a lot of really tall and athletic young guys. They should be grabbing rebounds if he's going to be the only one draining shots. That's okay.
Come on.
That's okay. Yes.
Effort.
Yeah, effort. But so I'd like to see those rebounds go up for him. But I just really love seeing him like confident, like he's shooting the good threes again. I have not witnessed a like Jordan Poole slip all over the floor turnover all season. I'm going to knock on wood right now because they do play again tonight. But he just like
God bless.
Yes. I know, because like last year, I feel like that's all he was, and that's all people focused on was like he would get too excited and he'd start dribbling the shit out of everything through his legs around people, and then he would throw the ball across the court and fall, and the play would be over and it'd be a turnover.
Yeah, it wasn't a good year for him.
No, and he's playing so much more calm and collected. Like he really feels like the Jordan Poole that he was on the Warriors, like where he can go out there and command his team. And like I feel like people are listening to him. The young guys really look up to him as a vet. And so I feel like that's really
important.
helpful for team chemistry. Yes, especially when you have Bilal Coulibaly and Alex Sarr, who are both French, and Jordan Poole has been learning French. And so they say that they like
cute.
to like I know. They say that they like to like talk in French on the court so that like the other guys, like the other team doesn't know what's happening.
Wait, that's so smart.
Isn't it genius? So I love it. That. I think that that's so fun. But
Until
I'm going to talk a little
Wemby.
bit. Exactly. Then you're effed. Wemby's just going to swat the ball right out the gym, say, do it again. Say it again. But we'll talk about their young core right now because I feel like a proud mom, like looking at them because like they're just, and again, they're losing games. Okay. They're 1-2, but they just beat the Hawks, which is I feel like that's a pretty big win. Not that the Hawks are fantastic, but for the Wizards, that's a pretty big win. Especially in the way that they won. And so I just want to go over like some of their stats and everything because Bilal Coulibaly is now a sophomore. He played in the Olympics over the summer, played for the French team. And
the French Revolution.
The French Revolution. The British are coming.
That's what I called the theme of the NBA draft last year. It felt like the French Revolution.
I'm so dead. That's so true, though, literally, because you have guys like Bilal Coulibaly and Wemby and all that stuff, and now you have Alex Sarr.
Risa Shea.
Yeah, and I was gonna say now you have Alex Sarr and Risa Shea. Alex Sarr, I think, is also French.
Yeah. See, everyone's French.
Yes, everyone's French. I just want to start by looking at Bilal because like I said, he is a sophomore and he's someone that has so much potential and can be so good. And I feel like he really showed that. He played 36 minutes, which is I think like the second most on their entire team. 36 minutes is like, I feel like a lot for this time of year. He had 17 points, 2 rebounds in regulation.
In a team that only plays at regulation.
We don't know what that's like. Never heard of it. He had 17 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, and was a +4. I love this for him. He was shooting 40%. He looked comfortable. And the thing that I really loved seeing from him was that he, I feel like has taken such a big step in defense this year. He is putting in the effort, as we always talk about. And he also, I was watching the game and I was literally watching him. One of my biggest things, I love help defense. I love when guys can recognize when help defense is needed and it works out. Yeah. It's one of the most important things. And so there would be guys on the Hawks that were driving. They were driving to the basket and he would recognize it and you'd see him shift over on help and cut off the lane. And I was like, Bilal, yes, sir.
Let's go.
I was so hype about it because it's just little things like that are absolutely game-changing type things. Okay, you just stopped 2 points right there. And so the big thing is that is it perfect? Absolutely not. Obviously, there were still people that scored on him, but the effort and the understanding is there. And he's reading the game so much better.
He's growing.
He's a lot more confident. Yes, exactly.
Developing.
I'm loving. That's exactly what I was saying. I was literally saying that watching him develop has been really cool because he's made a really big stride just over this last year. And it's really cool to see.
You missed my Jordan Poole move.
Oh, do it. Was that Jordan Poole or Jordan Clarkson?
Or Jordan Clarkson, sorry.
I was like, that would be Draymond. Okay, Jordan Poole did not punch back. All right.
And Jordan Clarkson.
Square up. Oh, I hate Jordan Clarkson. I'm so sorry. Speaking of the Jazz, sucks loser. Anyway.
Someone said that the Nuggets should have gotten him.
We don't need any squaring up on the Nuggets. Then next you have Bub Carrington. Bub Carrington is the guy that I've talked about. Yes, the guy that I've talked about being Rookie of the Year. His real name is Carlton. Carlton Carrington. I know. It's not unusual to be in love with anyone.
I was obsessed with the Fresh Prince when I was younger, and I don't know why. Because now that I think about that, I'm like little 4-year-old me was watching obsessed with Will Smith and Fresh. Yep, actually,
same.
It tracks. I'm so sorry,
hilarious.
Bub Carrington, Carlton.
You're good, Carlton. He he played 21 minutes and he had 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal, shooting 80%. So, and he's someone, he really showed out in preseason. You and I talked about him in preseason. He looked fantastic in Vegas, and just overall has been playing really well. He's someone that just like has the athleticism. He understands the game really well. I feel like he's already kind of confident and comfortable in himself. There's like a couple of things that he could work on. You know, he's someone that I would like to see, probably because he is such a good shooter. I would love to see him being a higher volume shooter. He's been starting next to Jordan Poole, so I think that I don't know if it really helps or hurts, maybe neither, but I would like to see him start putting up those kind of numbers, because if you're shooting 80% and scoring 13 points in your 20 minutes, and again, this was a game where Jordan Poole played fantastic, so he could really be like a big piece for them. And he already looks great, and he's just building on it, and he's building that team chemistry. So I love that. And then Alex Sarr. I know. And then Alex Sarr, his shooting was awful. He only shot 20%. And again, this was something that we talked about in preseason as well. His shooting was awful in preseason as well. But he is still showing the other signs that we talked about a lot as well. Mm-hmm. He had 7 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks. And like I talked about, his shooting is awful. I would really like to see him, work on that. It is. I mean, he's shooting 27%, and he's been having a tough season on that front. But everything else that he's doing is looking really great. You're grabbing 9 rebounds in 27 minutes, which is awesome, especially when you have a guy like Jonas Valanciunas down there also grabbing 9 rebounds. So I really like what he's doing around the rim. People are also saying that like he's not scary, like on defense, like as a rim protector.
He's not scary.
Right? I'm like, okay, well, first of all, F you, okay? Because he's literally averaging 2 blocks a game, so he might not be scary, but he'll swat your ball sack out of the universe, okay? Did I say ball sack?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why my brain went there, but it did. Okay, hate myself there. Mm-hmm. It's okay. But he's doing really great. He's a great rim protector, great at grabbing rebounds. I love to see it. He's the kind of guy that puts in effort. But I would really like to see him probably work on like dunking or being a little bit more efficient in the paint, even outside of the paint. He's obviously not going to be like a volume 3-point shooter or anything. But he's got to work on that offensive efficiency, because they're just ending up in turnovers. But either way, something that you can build on. You can always fix that stuff. And then Keyshawn George, his is just a little bit. He played 21 minutes, but he had 3 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and a block. Again, not a great shooting night for him. He did make 1 3, and he looked awesome. But other than that, I feel like for him, it was really just kind of like a really good experience for him being in that game, because he was playing in a really close game with a lot of like seasoned players on, what's it called? The Hawks. And so he's playing against like a lot of vets, and he was playing really well. He wasn't like a big detriment or anything like that. It's not like he was causing thousands of turnovers. Like he was another one that like was putting in that effort on defense, and he was doing a lot of help defense. His what's it called? Like effect in the game was a lot more of like eye test than it was stats. Yes, impact. Thank you. I love when you're good at words and I'm bad, because you're my smarter half of the
Listen,
brain.
I finished like 3rd in like the regional spelling bee, thank you, when I was like in middle school.
That's hot. You hear that, men? She's a genius.
I'm a big English gal. I think I got almost a perfect score on my English essay on my ACT. I think I was like 1 point off. Just
wow. Add it to the list of things you're great at. Okay, that's fine.
Put it on the roster.
Literally, I'm impressed with you. My goodness. But either way, the Wizards are building something beautiful. They have a group of young guys, I think 4 young guys who...
They will possibly be good in 6 years.
Yes,
Wizards.
But I like that though, because you want to know what it reminds me of is the Magic. The Magic are a full homegrown team, and they were ass for a few years. And we'll talk about them right now, actually. But I just wanted to say, shout out to the Wizards. in a few years, they're going to be great. Like I said, I see them as like another Magic type of team, being able to really build from within and grow. But back to you over there while we talk about Orlando Magic.
Orlando Magic. Oh, I said they were going to be my East Coast team because you have KCP, and I'm obsessed with your stupid fucking song because it won't get out of my head. But I need y'all to relax on my boy KCP, okay? Because you're creating nicknames, you're doing shit, and I don't. Okay,
Kenny, call him Kenny again.
You don't even know him.
Kenny.
You don't even know him like that.
The fist. This is the perfect Jordan Clarkson moment.
We want to ring with him. What about you? Now what? Now what? His name is Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Thank you, KCP for short. Not
That's
Kenny.
what I was going to say.
And
Kenny.
then I don't like how happy he looks there, okay? And you know why he's happy? The only reason he's happy is because he has no income tax, okay? Let's be real.
That's
Y'all think
valid.
that he's having so much fun? Yeah, because he's making more money than he was with us, so.
And he lives right by Disney.
I have to show this video because Caitlin has not seen it and she hasn't seen how happy that Kentavious looked the other day, and I'm really sad about it.
I'll cry. It's fine.
Okay. Caitlin told me she hadn't seen this. Oh! Okay, ready? Look at him. So Orlando Magic, I cannot get your song out of my head, but not too much on my boy though, okay? Not too much on my boy.
Just be nice to him. Love him.
I'm glad you have him. You don't need to rub it in my face, okay? And I'm not saying, like, I do think Christian Brown, I love Christian Brown, and he has done an outstanding job. But I have this thing because all of like my all of my like fellow Nuggets fans were like, it's fine. Like, CB's shooting more than he was last season. I'm like, it's not about that. It's about that he was on my team. He was my family, and then he left.
And I loved him.
Just like my dad. Just kidding. My dad's really great. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. Just like me.
Hi, Steve. Sorry, my friend.
I'm the only one with daddy issues here.
I just wanted to say that in the past, I feel like the Magic have just been so amazing, obviously, on defense. And then you get a piece like KCP, and now your defensive backcourt is disgustingly good.
Ew.
But I think like a couple pieces were missing. Things, you know, like Jalen Suggs like really needed to develop offensively. And again, it's really early, but he is showing that he has improved on that end. So I just wanted to say that I think it's time.
Good.
I think it's time that we can take the Magic seriously. They're my East Coast team. I love KCP, but I really do like that team. You know, they've got amazing homegrown talent. You know, they have both the Wagners, Jalen Suggs. Paolo dropped 50 the other night.
50, 13, and 9. He was one assist away from a triple-double. Yes.
And then
with one steal and 2 blocks. So he was all over. He was
all over. And then, you know, Jonathan Isaac, obviously, when healthy, he can be a DPOY candidate. I feel like he's never healthy, though, to be honest. But anyway, I just think their issue mainly, they just couldn't score. And, you know, as good as their defense last year was, they were still ranked 22 on offense. And obviously, you don't have a ton of competition on the East. But it's going to be hard to get through the like top 5. So their shooting was rough. You know, they didn't have like the best point guard play. And I think they've kind of solved almost all of their issues. You know, their offense is starting the year ranked 7 in the NBA. They look good. And I'm really excited to watch them this year. I'm really excited that Jalen Suggs has, you know, gotten up his, you know, offensive end. You know, against the Pacers, he had 27 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Everyone is doing a little bit of everything. Like, not only are they scoring, but everyone is helping out on the rebounding and the assisting. And
on defense, like they're playing really great team defense. Yes,
their defense
they look good.
Dirty.
They look good. I'm really excited to watch them. I was really high on them last year. They were one of my dark horse teams last year. I don't even think I would consider them a dark horse team this year. I think they're just good.
I think they're just freaking good.
Yeah, period.
They're awesome. I'm really excited to watch them. Who do they play tonight? Orlando Magic.
I love
they
that
play the Bulls.
Oh,
So-
okay. That'll be a decent game-ish. Oh,
Not for the Bulls,
Lonzo's
but-
out. Yeah. But
Last
yes,
loans and paper skin.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's time for our brand new segment that we introduced yesterday. So if you didn't watch that episode, screw you. Just kidding. Love you. Go back and watch it. We introduced our 8-ball predictions, where you guys ask us questions online. So make sure you follow the links below and yap at us or ask them in the comments below. And we are
NBA or NFL.
We're asking a few questions, each episode just to get an answer from our friend here. Okay. And I made something really, really cool. And
it's incredible. So
you're gonna watch
welcome.
it.
Jazz. I was gonna say the jazz music really does it for me.
Did you like that?
Yep. Well, here, look, since today's an NBA episode, I have a few NBA questions that our followers have asked us, and I love these. The very first one I'm not going to do just because it already happened. It was, can the Warriors win a few games without the services of Steph? We have already won one, so I'm going to take that as a win. The next question, will the Nuggets make a trade this season?
I have a mid-season trade. I have a really good question, too, for the 8-ball.
I love it. All right, let's see. Very doubtful. Calvin. Calvin, make a damn trade. If this is true,
Can
it's
you
doubtful.
ask again?
It's
I
not
think
like
that was I think that was faulty. Ask one more time.
Will the Nuggets make a trade this season? Reply hazy. Try again. Will they?
Damn, she's standing on business.
Will they make a trade this season? Will they? It's still giving me the same answer. Make a trade this season. All right,
She's standing
come on,
business.
Magic
Okay,
People.
whatever.
She said she literally said my reply is no.
Oh!
Killing myself.
Calvin.
Killing me so.
Okay, wait. I have a question for the Magic 8-ball.
All right, I'm ready.
Will Joel Embiid play in Denver this year?
Oh, I was like, for the Nuggets? No, okay, I got you. Will Joel Embiid
Play in the Denver game at Denver
be active and play against Denver in Denver?
since he hasn't, mind you, if you don't know, he hasn't done that since before COVID existed.
Yep. My reply is no. Joel.
Quack. What's the sound that a duck makes? Quack.
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 Did people bring ducks
If
to the
it
game?
looks like a
I feel
duck
they do.
and it sounds like a duck, it's a duck.
It's a duck, bitch. I love this next question.
Okay.
Draymond Green said that he will get less than 10 texts this year.
He's already gotten
So-
one, right?
Yes, he got one in the first game of the season. Someone said,
So-
do you believe Draymond when he says he'll have fewer than 10 technical fouls this season? All right, Magic 8 Ball, give us something good. Yes, definitely.
He'll have more or less?
Draymond, less. It says, do you believe Draymond when he says that he'll have less than 10 texts this season? So, and you know what? I believe this because there is video proof of him over the last couple of games having nice chats with the refs. After his tech, of course, in the first game.
Okay. Whatever
And then-
you say.
We'll do one more because I think we did 4 for the NFL episode. So we'll do one more. Last one. Will the Miami Heat be a top 4 seed in the East? Okay.
No.
Great
A top
question.
4? Who asked that? Jimmy Butler himself?
Stat Doctor MD.
Jimmy, get out of our replies.
It is certain.
Bull.
Is it?
Bull.
Y'all would have to make a trade for them to be.
And Bam isn't even playing well.
Yeah. Yeah, you really got Jimmy Butler, Jaime Jaquez, Tyler Hero. If Bam's not playing well. And
It
they
is
don't really have,
certainly
like, a deep
not
bench.
going to happen. I see them as a play-in team.
It is uncertain. And listen, Magic 8 Ball, stop lying to us.
Anyway, that is our NBA episode, and we love to talk if you couldn't tell. So if you're still here,
So sorry about that.
We love you so much. We're so happy you're here. We're so happy to be here. It took us probably 5 hours to film this.
It's been a tough day, okay? If you're wondering why I look like a sad little baby, it's because I'm sad and
but that's
because
okay,
it's a
Caitlin's
tough day.
going to be here very soon, in 2 days.
Yes.
And we're
I'll
going to
be
film our
having
little
lots of
hearts
fun.
out. It's going to be so good. Caitlin doesn't have to be a mom, technically. It's going to be so good for her. So, yeah, I am Spencer again, if you skipped over us in the beginning, and that's Caitlin. And we are U Sports. We are going to have all of our stuff down below. We have merch for the hot girls and the hot guys and the hot everybody, theys, gays, whatever. And plenty of gender neutral things. We have black versions of our cute pink stuff. We have pink versions. So go in, get in there, follow us on all the socials so we can talk to you.
Go ahead, Spencer, finish it. We've got nothing left. Use your last. This is me right here. I'm going to cry.
We've exhausted our camera batteries from filming for so long. Thank you. Wow, so weird having you all here just to myself.
Oh my God.
Oh, I forgot Caitlin's still listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we will talk to you on Friday or Saturday or all of the above. Okay, bye.
Bye. I know that you can hear me. Okay.
Bye, besties.